Good afternoon. This is Matthew from Prophetic Tongue again with another book review. This week I chose Autobiography of Johnny Cash. This is a great book. Johnny Cash, everybody knows, is the guy that's called the Man in Black. He's kind of like a rugged guy. He had his deal with like amphetamines and drugs and all that, and how to get out of that, and how God was with him the entire time. So a little bit about this book. On the back it states, he is the Man in Black, country music legend, the quintessential American troubadour, an icon of rugged individualism who's been to hell and back, and tells the tale as never before. In this unforgettable autobiography, Johnny Cash talks straight about the highs and lows, the struggles and hard-won triumphs, and the people who have shaped him. So I would definitely recommend this book. If you're thinking that there's no hope or no redemption out there, this book will make you think otherwise. So I mean, part of his like story, well, of course, was like dealing with the drugs and being in and out of jail for a while. But redemption is in this book. So here's a little excerpt of, this is on page 230, about part of his testimony of life. I knew what to do. I'd go into Nickel-Jack Cave on the Tennessee River just north of Chattanooga, and let God take me from this earth and put me wherever he puts people like me go. I parked my Jeep and started crawling, and crawled and crawled and crawled until after 2 or 3 hours the batteries of my flashlight wore out, and I lay down to die in total darkness. The absolute lack of light was appropriate, for at that moment I was as far from God as I ever been. My separation from him, the deepest and most ravaging of the various kinds of loneliness I had felt over the years, seemed finally complete. It wasn't. I thought I'd left him, but he hadn't left me. I felt something very powerful start to happen to me, a sensation of utter peace, clarity, and sobriety. I didn't believe it at first. I couldn't understand it. How, after being awake for so long and driving my body so hard and taking so many pills, dozens of them, scores, even hundreds, could I possibly feel all right? The feeling persisted, though, and then my mind started focusing on God. He didn't speak to me. He never has, and I'll be very surprised if he ever does. But I do believe that at times he has put feelings in my heart and perhaps even ideas in my head. There in Nickel-Jack Cave, I became conscious of a very clear, simple idea. I was not in charge of my destiny. I was not in charge of my own death. I was going to die at God's time, not mine. I hadn't prayed over my decision to seek death in the cave, but that hadn't stopped God from intervening. So that story alone, I mean, it's a great chapter if you pick up this book. This is his second autobiography. This is kind of like his second part in his older age. His first book was called Man in Black, and deals with kind of the first years of show business and everything. And then in his later years, he wrote this one, telling how God kind of has been faithful in his entire life. Even if he hasn't like audibly heard him, he knew God was with him the entire time. So if you're looking for a book that like tells of a story of a man that gets redemption and also peace, pretty much, when he comes in alignment of God's will and God's plan for his life, there is hope in the world for people like that and whoever's out there. This book's pretty much for anybody. I would definitely put this on my list to buy. Well, thanks for another edition, for just listening to my thoughts on these small little books. Have a blessed day.